Make money, money, money.
You're about to get the uncut marketing strategies from the secret weapon of millionaire coaches and consultants. Welcome to the $1 Million Messaging Podcast, baby. Attention coaches, consultants, and service providers. This is the podcast for you.
Check them out, y'all. Check them out.
It's time for you to create marketing messaging that attracts clients who are going to pay you premium prices. Let's get into it. And now, here's your host, Sierra Say.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the $1 Million Messaging Podcast. I am your host, Sierra Say, aka known as the coach's copywriter. Some people call me the secret weapon behind your favorite coaches and consultants. And once again, welcome to the $1 Million Messaging Podcast. This is crazy, y'all. I honestly cannot believe I'm doing this again. When I say this again, meaning I have a podcast again. I had one a couple years ago. It was pretty successful, and I don't know, life happened and I stopped. But here I am. My team literally had to drag me to do this because I'm more of a, I don't like doing what seems trendy, but I know I have value to add in this space, and I know that what I'm doing and what I'm creating and what I've created is nothing like it. So welcome again to the $1 Million Messaging Podcast. I'm super excited, y'all. So what this podcast is going to be about is it's going to be a podcast where I once again, the secret weapon behind a lot of your favorite coaches and consultants, I'm going to reveal to you a lot of the marketing strategies that they won't, right? And the reason why they won't reveal them to you is because most of them don't understand it anyway, right? So I've been blessed to be able to work alongside like literally the top coaches and consultants in the information space. Like not even kidding. I've been blessed to be able to work alongside them, work with them, be able to get, dig into their business and figure out what's going wrong from a messaging perspective, from an email marketing perspective, and help them pull that all together to make a whole lot of money, like a whole lot of money. And when I say the top coaches and consultants, meaning that they're the top to the point where non-disclosure agreements are real. And you probably won't hear me name that many of them. I don't like name dropping anyway. But one of my all-time favorite clients, partners, people that I've had the pleasure of working with closely recently is Mr. Marquell Russell. Shout out to him. He's one of the people who kind of made me do this. You'll see me use a lot of case studies, and you'll probably see him on the show at some point. So once again, welcome to the $1 Million Messaging Podcast. I'm super geeked. That's why I keep saying it. But let's go ahead and get started. So in today's episode, I want to, number one, let me set the expectation. You're going to get episodes every single week, every single Monday, because Monday is the start of the week. And from a marketing perspective, Monday is the day where you need to be reviewing all of your campaigns from the weekend. So what numbers came in from your Facebook ads? What numbers came in from your emails? Content-wise, what were those insights looking like, right? One thing about marketing that a lot of people really don't talk about because it's not super sexy is the data. And the data is what tells your marketing story. It's not really data. Conversion. We're going to be talking about conversion rates, right? We're going to be talking about opt-in rates. We're going to be talking about open rates. We're going to be talking about data that really tells the story as to whether or not your messaging is working and whether or not your marketing is working. Because we can feel, we can think, but none of that matters. The story is in the data. So once again, episodes every single Monday. We'll just say Monday. Don't ask me what time. We'll just say Monday. Episodes every single Monday. You're going to be looking at about 30 minutes, maybe a little bit longer when I have the opportunity to bring on some of my favorite marketing minds. I don't like super long podcasts, so I'm not going to have a super long podcast. Once I get my point across, I'm going to be done. Like there may be some episodes that are less than 30 minutes. I'm pretty sure my podcast coach wouldn't like that, but whatever. But there may be some episodes that are less than 30 minutes. My goal is to give you an episode with practical, tangible information that you can then go apply right after you get done and start seeing some results as fast as possible. All right, let's jump into today's topic. Today's topic is really going to be simple. I want to explain to you what messaging, sales copy, and copywriting is and how it affects your business as a coach or consultant. So here's the thing. Messaging is one of those topics that isn't super sexy in marketing or business, right? You hear everybody talk about, oh, let's build a funnel, let's do a website, let's go do a photo shoot, let's write a book, let's do a challenge. And all those things are cool, but when it comes to marketing, the most important part is messaging. But no one talks about it because it's not sexy. Just like in business and entrepreneurship, one of the most important elements is your numbers, is your data. But no one talks about that because it's not sexy. Instead, they want to talk about all the other cool stuff. Let's get on the PJ, let's go to the conference, let's go live every day. That's what they rather talk about. They don't want to talk to you about what's real. You're going to get what's real here. So once again, so what is it? What is messaging? What is sales copy? What is copywriting, right? So I'm going to start with this term. Copywriting is the process of writing words that make people take action. I'm going to say that again. Copywriting is the process of writing words that make people take action. Copy or messaging, we can use those two terms interchangeably here on this show. Copy and messaging is nothing but the words that are written. So it's your captions on your Instagram page. It's the Facebook ad copy when you're running Facebook ads, all that wording that's up under that video or up under that image. That's messaging. That's copy. It is the things you talk about when you do a webinar. What are your talking points? How are you conveying the transformation? How are you talking directly to your ideal client? That's messaging. It's when you're going live on Instagram and you have an agenda. How are you conveying that message? That's messaging. It's all in the same pot. It's just like 3 ingredients to get one meal, if that makes sense. So your offer, your program, whatever you offer as a coach or consultant is the meal. And the 3 main ingredients is messaging, sales copy, and copy. It's all the same thing, right? It's the goal is to get someone to take action. And depending on where you're using this messaging or where you're using this piece of copy, the goal is different, right? Because when you're running a Facebook ad, your goal is to get them to click off of the ad. That's that ad's job. When you have a landing page, your goal is to get them to opt in. That's what your headline is doing. That job is to get them to opt in. But that's all messaging. That's all copy. So why is it important for your business? I'm going to say this one more time. The foundation to any great marketing campaign is your messaging. And if you don't have it right, you can launch a marketing initiative or a marketing campaign, and when you're not necessarily getting the results that you want to get, you can start doubting your entire business model, doubting everything that you're doing, when a lot of times it's just the messaging that needs to be tweaked. And some of the ways you tweak that is changing your ideal client or getting even more niche down with your ideal client. It's being able to properly translate the transformation that you provide. It's being able to properly articulate some of the problems you know your ideal client has. But if you don't know any of these things, if you haven't sat down and took time to peel back the layers on your ideal client and the messaging that ideal client needs, you're literally just throwing like darts in the dark with a blindfold, hoping that someone catches what you're trying to put down. In my personal business, there are two. It's one foundation of being a messaging expert to my clients, and then the other foundation or the other specialty is being a messaging expert specifically in the realm of email marketing. So my clients know that when they hear me create any piece of content, when they see any email come across from me, they know it's talking about messaging and email marketing or email marketing. But they go hand in hand, right? It's just that emails is a specific type of messaging. Hope that makes sense. So that is what messaging is. That is why it's super important. Let me give you some, like the main examples of where your messaging is, where it's important, right? Number one, everybody uses social media. Captions. Your captions are messaging. Yes, it is. I'm sorry to let you know. It's copy. It's sales copy. Yes, it is. It needs to have a call to action every single time. Yes, it does. Every single time. But yes, we're going to start there. So Instagram, Facebook, captions is considered messaging. It's considered copy. When you choose to create an IGTV or when you choose to go live on Instagram, whatever your topic is or whatever you're talking about or whatever offer you have that you're speaking about, the way you convey it in that video is messaging. So if I'm making a video about, I don't know, I make house shoes, everything I talk about in that video needs to build a gap between the person who wants house shoes and the house shoes that I sell. I'm going to say that again. If I'm making a video on Instagram, if I'm going live on Instagram and I sell house shoes, that means the messaging for this particular live or video needs to build a bridge for the person who wants house shoes and who needs house shoes and the house shoes that I actually sell. That's what messaging does. It builds the bridge and it connects the person who has the problem with the person who fixes the problem. If you can't properly articulate that, whether that's through video, emails, ads, just flat out words in general, if you don't know how to articulate that, you're going to have a problem in your coaching and consulting business. You just are. The people who are winning in this space are people who have great messaging, who are consistent with their messaging, who don't change what they do every other day. I'm going to say it again. They have great messaging, they're consistent with their messaging, and they don't change what they do every other day. In order to be put in that category with your coaching and consulting business, the first thing you got to do is nail down what it is you do and who do you help. I'm gonna be a little open and honest with you guys. Do not be surprised if you hear me curse on this podcast. It is the language. It is, cursing is part of the English language, and sometimes it's needed for me to make my point. So the first thing you have to do is, what do you do and who do you help? What do you do? And I'm going to ask you one more time. What do you do and who do you help? You have to answer that question clearly and succinctly in order to attract your ideal client and provide them with the solution that you know you have for them. If you can't do that, you're in a world of trouble. What do you do? Who do you help? Say it again. What do you do? Who do you help? The second thing with your messaging that's super, super important is you understanding what it actually affects. It affects your sales. It affects your leads. It affects your conversions. And it affects everything else in the marketing campaign. Everything. So your opt-in rates, your click-through rates, your open rates. Open rates, we're going to talk about that. They kind of iffy right now. They're not 100% accurate because of a lot of new regulations with email marketing. But your sales, your leads, and your conversions. 3 most important things in business. If you don't know how much money you're bringing in, if you don't know how many people have raised their hand, aka opted into a lead magnet, and if you don't know how many people you're converting from being just a lead to an actual client, once again, you're just throwing darts in the dark. You got to know your numbers, because once you know your numbers, everything else is a simple math problem. Simple math problem. So yes, that is where messaging plays a huge role in your business and your marketing campaigns. It's everything you see on social media, everything you see in emails, everything, even text message marketing, like it's all messaging, and that's why it's super important, because if it's not clear, if it's not speaking to your ideal client, and if it's not properly conveying the transfer. Mike, I'm gonna pause because I was looking at this the whole time and not that. My bad. All right. So yes, that is why your messaging is so important. That's where you see messaging all the time on social media. You see messaging all the time. Text message marketing campaigns, like it's literally everything. All of the language that people are using to get you to move and take action, whether it's buying something, whether it's downloading something, whether it's just simply stopping and listening to what they have to say, which is technically an action. That's why messaging is so important in marketing. And that's also why you don't see a lot of people talk about it, because it's very complex, and it's something in marketing that's what's the word I want to use? So let me back up a little bit. Here's another quick thing about marketing that you're going to learn on this show that a lot of people are not talking about. Marketing is not matter of fact. I'm going to say that again. Marketing is not matter of fact, meaning no one can guarantee you anything with your marketing, which is why it's important to track the numbers. Some of the numbers I mentioned when it comes to your messaging, your opt-in rate, your open rate, your click-through rate, your conversion rate. That's why it's important for you to track those numbers, because we can't create anything and guarantee that anyone will do anything. But once we put it out to the marketplace, your messaging and the numbers tells us the real story. So once again, this is why messaging is so important. This is why I created this podcast, because I want to help you create the right messaging for the right offers, for the right audience, in order for you to grow your coaching and consulting business. That is what I'm here to do, all right? I've done it. I do it every single day, and now I'm doing it on a larger scale because I get to help way more people at one time with this podcast. So That being said, we're coming to the close of episode 1 of the $1 Million Messaging Podcast. Couple quick reminders. Remember, guys, every single Monday, don't ask me what time. I just know right now, every single Monday, an episode will drop here on YouTube as well, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. But I need your help, y'all. I really do. I need you to do a couple quick things for me. Number one, if so far you feel like this is a podcast that's going to help you grow your coaching and consulting business, or if you know someone who can use this information to help grow their business, I want you to do something for them. I want you to share it. Well, first I want you to like it. Wherever you're listening, watching, like it. Then I need you to subscribe to YouTube as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those platforms, whatever platform you're listening to. Like and subscribe. Then I want you to share it. To share it with 2 people. You should know 2 people in business who need this information, if it's not just you. But share it with 2 people for me. Now, here is another super cool thing. I'm going to have some fun with this podcast, right? Which means I want to do something special and something unique for a couple of people. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking on the fly. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give someone a free copy and messaging audit of at least 1 funnel or 1 website if you review and rate this podcast specifically on Apple Podcasts. So someone lucky will win a copy and messaging audit, and I'll probably do this like once a month or every 90 days or something. But someone will win a free copy and messaging audit that I normally charge. I'm not going to say the amount, just know I got a comma in it, but I normally charge a pretty penny for. I will give you a copy and messaging audit on 1 funnel or 1 website. It will be me. It won't be anyone from my team. You'll get direct feedback. I'll tell you what you need to change, what you need to implement in order to make your entire marketing messaging more solid to attract your ideal client. And yeah, also, really quick, I want to invite you guys to download a very, very valuable and very, very, I'm just going to say valuable again, resource, right? Go to magneticmessagingplaybook.com and download this messaging playbook that I created specifically for individuals who listen to this podcast or individuals who need help with their marketing messaging. Listen, this playbook is so detailed that when I finished it, I literally told my partner, like, I should have charge for this. I should not be giving this away for free. That's how dope it is. It also features a very special interview on messaging with me and my brother from another, Marquel Russell. So magneticmessagingplaybook.com. The link will be in the show notes. Go there, download the playbook. Also, like, subscribe, rate, review, whatever you want to call it. And those of you who review, you will be entered into a raffle to win a free copy and messaging audit from me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the very first episode of $1 Million Messaging. I will see you guys soon. Right after this one, though, there are some more episodes. Keep going. Take some notes. Do what you got to do for your business. Talk to y'all later.